When my dad was starting to get into like sports betting, he found this formula. I don't even know where he found it. He would be betting the most obscure college football games you've ever heard of. Hey, Trev, what's the San Diego Tech and Virginia State game at right now? But to the old man's credit,
he was winning.
He was cooking.
He found the formula. He has every streaming service if he's getting on those games.
He does.
He's got Big Ten Network 4.
Yeah, he's got Peacock 17.
Peacock 17.
I'm gonna go to Vegas one time. I'm gonna walk up to the Palazzo and be like, "Hey, I'm checking in," and be like, "Oh, what room are you?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm this room." "Oh, sorry, your last name. I thought you'd be in the Ron Sikkema suite." I'm like, "Excuse me, the what suite?"
October is Sikkema Penthouse month. He's literally keeping the lights on at the Palace.
Welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Trevor, Sikkema, Connor Rogers here with you guys for another Stock Watch episode. We're 4 weeks into the college football season. It's about time that we get towards updating the big board, but not quite yet. We're a week away from that. We still had to give you one more Stock Watch episode before we got to updating the big board. And I'm glad that we did, because there are some players here that are some shout-outs that, all right, when we update our top 50s, maybe they won't make it there, but they deserve some shout-outs as guys that are moving into our top 100s, into our top 75s. We're going to talk a little bit about some stock down guys as well, because we're going to take some shout-outs from you guys, the addicts, as we always do here on Stock Watch. And you guys provided us with a ton of suggestions for guys who are stock up and stock down. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But Connor, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. This week's got some juice. Let me tell you that. It's not just the games that are going down on Saturday night. Whiteout game, Oregon, Penn State, NBC, primetime, but our stock
Tune
watch.
Tune into our boy.
Man, this is
doing the coverage.
This is my one chance. If I screw this one up,
what chance for what?
They'll never put me on television again.
Oh, okay, I see.
There's too much. Like, it's a little different when it's, no offense, Illinois, Western Illinois on Peacock. Channel 4, Oregon, Penn State. It's like they called me up from low A ball to the major leagues in one swoop.
Take the suit, tear off the arms for this one. That's what
Sleeveless.
you gotta do. You just gotta the arms out.
Yep. Tricep flex.
Yeah, the Jake Gold day. That's what you gotta do.
We went through it. Yeah. Ask for a new headshot. Hey, anybody get a new headshot for me?
I am excited to talk about a lot of, some of the matchups that we have upcoming. Some of the guys that we're going to talk about are going to go into this Saturday slate, but this feels like the best Saturday of college football yet. There are a couple of players, like, for example, like Dante Moore, right? Like Dante Moore, we talked about on last week's Stock Watch episode. He ain't played anybody. He really hasn't. And so like now we're finally getting into an opportunity where, okay, like now he's actually getting into starting to play legit competition. Drew Aller is getting to the teeth of his schedule, and the whole thing that we said at the beginning of the year is like, oh, Aller's got all the talent in the world, but what is he like in the biggest games? Like, that's the stuff that matters here. So really excited to talk about some of the quarterbacks here on the show. Obviously, we will give you our 3 guys that are stock up, stock down. We'll bring our new name to the table as well, but Connor, where do you want to start with this one, with the quarterback conversation? We got a couple of names that we want to get to, a couple of guys that could impact potentially the top 10 of this NFL draft, but I'll let you set the table. Who do you want to talk about first?
I think it's time for us to have a group conversation about where Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, stands right now. The Mendoza. It was a great weekend to be a part of the Indiana football program. Let me tell you that. Because I don't know what the hell Brett Bielema did to Kurt Signetti, but the Sigmeister was just trying. He was like, you're playing your friend in like EA, CFB, or Madden.
Yes.
And you're trying to clown them. He was doing it in real life. Am I like, right?
I 100% agree. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. And both of those coaches are kind of ones to, like, say a little bit of something to the other, and I love that about college football.
Me too. I think they're great. I think they're great for the sport. I've never interviewed Signetti, but I've interviewed Bielema at Big Ten, and he is as authentic as it gets when it comes to, like, you just ask a question and you don't get the college football speech. You get a real answer. And
I will say this, like, I still think top to bottom the SEC is the best conference in college football. However,
it's close.
However, having head coaches that are the personalities that they are, and have the success that they have,
Yep.
like Illinois and Indiana in the Big Ten, like that's awesome. And obviously you're getting some of the Pac-12 RIP powerhouses that are now in the Big Ten. Like Big Ten has some fun matchups. It's not just Ohio State versus either Michigan or Penn State, and those are the only games in the conference that matter. You get fun ones like the one that we just saw with Illinois and Indiana. Although Indiana, God, what was the final score of this game? It was like 63-10,
right?
10?
I know Illinois didn't score in the second half.
Man. And a big reason why we get to that 63 number is because of Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza.
The Mendoza who, as we talked about over summer, and there's a lot of fans of Mendoza's talent. The thing is with Mendoza, you watch the first couple weeks, Old Dominion, who played them tough. Shout out to Old Dominion, played them a hell of a lot better than Illinois. Indiana State. Like, you watch the games and you're just like, okay, he doesn't really have to do anything. I actually thought his best throw of the year up to this game was a drop on a deep ball in the first game of the season against.
Oh, yes.
I did a tape breakdown on Mendoza for NBC this week because it's a good time to kind of see where he stands, and that was one of his best three throws. But this game, Trevor, against an opponent that, okay, Xavier Scott was not playing in this game, but Illinois still has good defense. Indiana just could do no wrong. And I think the structure Mendoza is in right now is aiding his development in a way that you really like to see. Where at Cal, when we talked about him over summer scouting, at Cal, there was times where he was just a bad decision maker, whether he didn't see a defender, he would take chances that were probably a little unwarranted. And now I feel like he's comfortable in a structure that it feels a little safe at times. And then when they need him to make a throw, like the third down touchdown he made over the safety against Illinois, where it's man coverage on the outside with the wide receivers and corners, Illinois is showing a four-man rush. They actually only rush three. One of the down defensive linemen peels back, and the safety stands almost right at the goal line. Mendoza knows, okay, now I have the protection against the three-man rush. They're in man coverage. My wide receiver is going to run right towards the middle of the end zone, but this ball needs to be lofted over the safety, but I need to be careful I don't airmail it through the goalpost into the stands, and he made a perfect throw. That's the kind of stuff, Trevor, that you love to see from Mendoza, who I know he runs a little bit in this offense, but he's a pocket passer. Like, he's not the same athlete as a lot of these guys, so he needs to make those throws.
Right. And that's something that I wanted to sort of bring up and talk about with his scouting profile. So in this game, I'll just give you the numbers. I know the guys who are watching, you guys who are watching on YouTube, you could see these, but for audio people, 84.0 passing grade versus Illinois, 21 for 23 passing. He was pinpoint. He was fantastic. 267 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He only had one big time throw.
That was it. The one I just said.
Right. That was the big time throw in this game. No turnover worthy plays, and he's been a pretty negative throw free type of quarterback so far this season, and he's played really well within that structure. You know, a couple of the really nice throws that I felt like he had in this game, and this sort of goes into his pro projection a little bit, which I guess I'll set the table by saying this. Mendoza has an NFL arm. And we've talked about this here since the season started. We talked about it during summer scouting. He's got a legit NFL arm. I didn't know if I was going to be as high on him as the NFL would eventually be on him, because he had more turnover-worthy plays than he had big-time throws when he was at Cal, and I think that was something to monitor. His pressure-to-sack ratio was over 20% when he was at Cal, and it was, again, over 20% in this game specifically, which is something that you got to think about with him being a pocket passer and him, playing under pressure. But there were a couple of throws in this game where it's a good and bad. He's running an RPO play where he very quickly reads that the linebackers are firing down into where the line of scrimmage is. And he immediately goes, oh, okay. Immediately takes it from the running back, pops it over, and normally hits, whoever it is, Elijah Surratt, whoever it is, like for a slant right there where the linebacker used to occupy that space. And that's a fantastic job of recognizing what defenses are doing. And I would say that that's a major strength of Fernando Mendoza. His IQ for the position is fantastic.
Tremendous.
And And that's why I hoped that the big time throw and turnover worthy play ratio would get better from him because of seeing little flashes of it last year, seeing those things this year. And it does feel like he has so much control over that offense. So I like the decision-making part of him running the RPO stuff. He's not going to run that in the NFL. Like, he's not going to be part of an RPO offense. He can keep defenses honest. Like, there was a play where I think it was a keeper of his. Maybe he was just scrambling from pressure. But he was running out to the sideline, and one of the Illinois linebackers was trying to catch him. And I'm watching this play, and I'm like, all right, this Illinois linebacker clearly just does not have the speed to beat him to the sideline.
Their starter got thrown out for targeting early in the game.
Okay, so that might have been it. That might have been
could have been the player you're talking about could have been a reserve.
It might have been a reserve player because I'm watching it and I go, okay, any linebacker in the NFL is getting to you before you reach the line of scrimmage. And that's just sort of the athleticism baseline that we have there. So I like the decision-making from him from the RPO perspective, but I kind of take some of those plays out because he's not really going to run those plays in the NFL. But there are a lot of other instances where he shows high IQ and I would say patience for the position. Like that throw in the back of the end zone, that's patience. I think he's waiting for a guy underneath to sort of run a route that's even shallower, a little bit of the same trajectory.
Yep.
But he goes, oh, okay, well, that one's not open, being a little bit more patient, waiting a half more second, and there's the guy over top in the safety, and I'm hitting him in the back of the end zone.
Which was because of showing the four-man rush, the big guy that actually pretended to rush, and it wasn't a mug linebacker, it was a down defensive lineman. He peeled back and took away that shallow route. So that's why I was so impressed with that throw where you're right, Trevor. He had to work off of the planned read. And there's one more throw he's made this year that showed me his IQ in week 3 against Indiana State. There's under 2 minutes left, and they're at about the 30-yard line. They're at the 31-yard line. And Indiana State is clearly in the mold of it's 38-0 already because it's Indiana State. Sorry, but they're trying. You would think to just can we hold them to 3 here? And he's really only needs to play for 3. You're up 38 points, but he sees right away that it's cover 2, and he has the protection and good protection, not great because he's about to get hit as he's stepping up into the throw. But he perfectly waits for his slot receiver to break in the deep middle vertical of the field in between cover 2, and he fires a laser. And I get it. It's Indiana State. Who gives a crap, right? But the arm, the throw itself, to step up into the hit and make that throw, he knew the coverage. He knew exactly the throw he had to make, and he made it. So as a pocket passer, it is clearly there for him. But it's a tough way to play in today's NFL. That'll be the counter argument to him.
It is, but you have to do it. And I would say that the throws that I'm actually the most impressed with Fernando Mendoza is I think he's the best out route thrower in the class. Like, whether you're on the near hash, whether you're on the far hash,
right.
Like, this dude can throw an out route. There was a touchdown. I can't remember which receiver was on the end of this one, but it was one of his touchdowns where you watch it, and I think if you watch it just from a fan's perspective, you're watching the game, you go, oh, the receiver cooked that DB. That's an easy pass. No, it's not. He's on the opposite hash, and he's got to get that ball there with pace before the defensive back can catch up to him and before the wide receiver runs out of real estate in the end zone and gets to the sideline in the end zone. So that throw, where if you watch it in game, you go, oh my goodness, great job by the receiver getting open, and it is a good job by the receiver to create that separation. I noticed the throw, and I noticed how he just continues to showcase he's got the NFL talent to hit those out route throws, which I think is very, very impressive. So Mendoza has been great. Now, I think the question that everybody wants to know is, well, okay, you're talking about this guy. Like, what context are you talking about him? Are you talking about him as a 3rd-round pick, a 2nd-round pick? Like, what are you saying? I think Fernando Mendoza, at this point in time, is a legit top 10 pick. And there is going to be... Now, I'm not saying necessarily that I have him as a top 10 pick. Yep. I'm saying that as we go through like mock drafts, which we're going to get to mock drafts soon, guys. I promise we'll give it to you in mock draft form.
Yeah,
but
the electric bills do.
He's going to get... Yeah, we're going to have to pay the bills soon. I think he's going to get consideration as the top quarterback in this class because he does so many things like that. So then the way that we talk about Mendoza, we might nitpick him a little bit, but it's because I really do believe that the NFL is going to look at this guy kind of in the same bucket as LaNorris Sellers and Garrett Nussmeier. Like, I think that we're going to get to this point where those three feel like right now the three quarterbacks that we would talk about if you are going to take one in the top 10. It's sort of that conversation with him. So I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I got to rewatch all of his games and get to there and update his stock profile, which we'll be able to get to a week from now when we update the big boards and everything. We'll give you our updated top 50s. But I do think that he has so much of what the league wants. He's got the size. He's got some movement ability, even though he's a pocket passer, like you said. But there's just not a throw that this guy is incapable of making. And I think that that's always very alluring to NFL teams, no matter who you are.
Yeah, I wish he didn't run like Mac Jones sometimes, where it's like, but he's not a zero. Like, he's faster than Jared Goff. I want to make that clear. It's just sometimes when he's running, you're right about the linebacker that didn't chase him down. I'm like, man, can you just be like a little faster?
Right.
Just a little bit.
Right.
But he, obviously I wasn't very high on him. I was very vocal about that over summer. I'll tell you right now where I had him.
Yeah, me and you both had him, I think, at like 9.
QB9.
Like
I had him QB7.
Okay, I might have had him 8.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now who I had over him. I had Nussmeier, Arch, and Klubnik, who have not been good. Aller, Matier, and Sellers, like all over him.
Yeah.
So I did. He's playing well. He's playing better than a lot of the other quarterbacks in this class already.
I had him 8. I had Arch, Aller, Nussmeier, Levitt, Klubnik, Sellers, Matier over him. And I think that he's probably in amongst NFL circles. Again, not necessarily saying that this is exactly how we think here on this podcast, but I think that projecting to the NFL, like if you go over to PFF's big board and you see the front-facing board, which I'll remind everybody, that's the predictive board. It used to be my board. It's not anymore. We're switching things up a little bit. So when you go to PFF.com, the board that you see is not my board. That's the PFF predictive board that the mock draft simulator runs off of. So that's what I think and we think at PFF the league believes of these players and how highly they're going to be drafted so that you guys have the most realistic mock draft experience. But if you go over to the little setting button and you click source, then you can go over to version, you can click the tab there, then you can see Sikkema's 2026 big board, which is actually my big board and where I have these players. So I feel like I should probably say that more than I do actually, because people probably just believe the front-facing board is still my board, but just a reminder there. So we've talked Mendoza. Who's next? Who do you want to talk about next?
The most underrated quarterback prospect in the country. And that is...
Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. And if you are, do us a big favor. Double check to see if you're subscribed to the channel. Because I feel like I've read so many comments or replies of people who are saying, oh my gosh, I've watched so many of your videos. I didn't even realize that I wasn't subscribed. It's a free, easy way to support the show. And we would really appreciate it. Whether it's been college football, NFL football, or of course, NFL draft talk, you guys have built such an awesome community. And we would love for everybody out there to join by being a subscriber. It's a really cool way to also get involved in the show so we can make the content that you want so we can be the best NFL draft channel out there. Appreciate all you guys. Let's get back to it.
Rutgers' very own Athan Kaliakmanis.
Dude.
I mean,
First of all,
what the hell?
First of all, wonderful job saying the last name.
Thank you.
I'm crapping myself looking at this on our show sheet. Like I am like the Mrs. Puff SpongeBob meme, like, oh, Neptune, just sweating bullets looking at this guy's name.
Let me pull back the curtain here and not give myself as much credit as I want right now. Going back to that year I did Big Ten Media, which was some preseason 2024, I had Greg Schiano as one of my interviews.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to say this name.
Nice. Yeah. So you're prepared. You're very prepared.
Yeah, I was Mrs. Puff as well, practicing my interviews.
Because you had to say it to the head coach's face.
I didn't want to screw it up. So
he'd have made you run laps.
He actually would have.
Yeah.
He would have been like, get the hell out of my face.
Yeah, he'd be like, you got to give me 25. Give me 25 push-ups right now.
So this is a name that we haven't talked about on the show. And he is, I believe now, a fifth-year quarterback. I know he played for Minnesota for 2 years. I need to do one last check if he was there a year before playing. Because this is his second year at Rutgers. And he was at Minnesota initially where he did play. It's not like he was just there and transferred. Yeah, so he didn't play at all in 2021 as a freshman. And then he made 5 starts in 2022 as a sophomore. He was the full-time starter for Minnesota in 2023, and he was Rutgers starter last year. He's played a lot of college football.
Wait a second. His brother plays wide receiver on the team.
Isn't his name Dino?
Dino.
It's the best. It's the absolute best.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What a name duo.
I mean, it's actually unbelievable. Yeah. Dino Kaliakmanis.
And his name is Athan, right? Not Athan?
Is it Athan?
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it was Athan.
Oh, Neptune.
Why are you doing this to me?
I don't know.
I told you I've practiced the name.
I told you it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Well, Kaliakmanis.
Little summer scouting. Little summer scouting throwback for those of you that were around for the summer.
Oh, man. Power ranking the Jake Gyllenhaal movies. That was a big hit.
I still haven't seen any of them.
That actually, I've never watched one in my life, which was bizarre. Like, out of all the catalogs to just opt out on, you opted out on Jake Gyllenhaal's catalog, which has so many elite flicks. I don't get it.
Got nothing. Don't know what to tell you.
At least you're honest. I give you a lot of credit. Ball. I don't think I would admit that in public, so I give you a lot of credit. You're a braver man than me. So this is someone who just looks like a different player this year. And maybe if you actually believe in development, these things can happen. Because you're talking about a player that has started across 3 seasons of college football before this, a half season and then 2 full seasons. I think this is his 3rd year with the Rutgers offensive coordinator because they had crossover at Minnesota, which is probably why he transferred in the first place.
Makes sense.
To Rutgers. But Trevor, the throws he's making, just for raw stats of last year, so we're not that far away, but this was kind of more the same at Minnesota. 53.9 completion percentage. He threw 18 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He only averaged 6.8 yards attempt. This year, he's been a totally different player. And when you turn on the tape and scout the player beyond the numbers, first off, in the loss to Iowa, he had 5 big-time throws. I mean, you watch these throws, they are deep shots down the sideline. He's throwing deep outs. The arm strength, I don't even know who this is. The arm strength is phenomenal. The release is quick enough. He's got an NFL arm. He might be.
Are you saying versus last year, like what he had been previously?
I just feel like he didn't take these, like he didn't challenge defenses in this way. Where maybe the physical talent was in there, but it never, when I watched Rutgers play last year, I never watched this version of him.
Well, it was kind of like what we talked about with Josh Hoover last week when I brought up Josh Hoover. Hoover was not this type of quarterback last year. And now he looks stronger. He looks more confident. There's more power in his lower half. The release is quicker, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's the thing with Kaliakmanis as well.
That's what it feels like. I just look at a player that is willing to challenge the 3rd level of the defense, and he's willing to do it consistently. I mean, he really is. He's already made 10 big-time throws in 4 games this year. And you watch these throws, once again, the velocity on the passes, he can throw a touch when he needs to. I think right now this is the most improved quarterback in the nation when you stack up where he was last year compared to where he is now. And he gives them something in the run game. He ran for 2 touchdowns last week. One was a real design run to the outside. The other was more of the tush-push variation. But he's 6'3", 212 pounds, and I think he's going to be a 220-plus pound NFL quarterback.
He looks like it.
He could really fill out. He might have already filled out. These Rutgers guys, by the way, like I know I definitely, give them a little bit more love because they're a New Jersey school, but I know the lifting program there has made colossal strides over the years compared to where they were. I think he's going to play a lot closer to 220, 225. I think the 6'3" is a legitimate 6'3", 6'2 and a half. But I'm just so impressed, Trevor, with that no spot of the field is off limits for this guy after he felt like such a limited quarterback his 3 previous years.
Yeah, look, I did not know him at all whatsoever. I saw him on the show sheet. We had a little bit of time before we hit record, and so I was like, okay, I watched all of my guys. Let me watch a couple of Connor's just so I can have a better, a more detailed conversation and a back and forth here. And I start watching his big time throws because I noticed that he had a bunch of them that you noted. And I look at the first one, I go, damn, man, like that all came together for him. I mean, the release was great.
Right.
Power in the lower half, really great fundamentals. The ball flight was fantastic. Wow, great throw. And then I watched the second one. I go, damn, he really put that all together. Great release, power from the lower half, great follow through, good fundamentals, good ball path. And then I watched the third one. I go, damn, he really put it all together on that one. Power from the lower half. And I keep watching these throws, and I go, I'm not going to lie, dude. I got to like his 6th big time throw, and I was like, all right, screw this. I have to just watch all of the passes. Yep. Like, because I must be watching just his best. His fundamentals are fantastic. This is probably the quarter, at least the little bit that I've watched. Again, I haven't done the full scouting report for him, but I watched a little bit of him before this podcast. He has the most repeatable throwing motion, I think, of any of these quarterbacks that I've watched, and it's very effective. Like, he is getting a ton of power on the ball. The release is fantastic. The ball flight, the spin, how tight the spiral is, where he's placing it, all this kinds of stuff. You mentioned like some of the touch throws versus some of the more bullet throws. Now, he seems to have more strength on his throws like 10 yards and in than he does. He's more of a touch passer the further we get it down the field. But like, even for some of the touch passes, he's putting it exactly where it needs to go.
Right on, guys.
The true ball placement beyond just the accuracy was phenomenal from this dude from what I watched. So shout out to you for bringing him up in this show. Again, for the audio only people, 92.4 overall offensive grade, 92.6 passing grade. He's had an 84.0 passing grade in all 4 of his games, at least. So we're not talking about like, 2 passing performances carrying a lot of weight for that high passing grade. This dude has consistently been fantastic, and if I had one word to describe him, it would truly be consistent. I don't know if I've watched through 4 games a more consistent quarterback in the country. So he is fantastic. I'm getting to his scouting report and getting him in the MBS immediately, because if the rest of his throws look like the ones that I've seen, we've got an NFL quarterback at Rutgers in this class. We really do.
I'm with you all the way. I was so excited watching him because you're just begging for more breakouts, especially a 5th-year guy, because like this is it for you, unless you find one of these crazy eligibility aspects people find under the couch these days.
Maybe you could find it.
So he's got a revenge game at Minnesota at noon this Saturday. Then they play Washington, and then Oregon comes to Rutgers on October 18th.
Ooh.
So he's like, the best part is we're going to find out more about him.
He's going to outduel Dante Moore. That's what I heard you say.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, put it on a shirt. That's the next merch.
I'm a man.
Athan Kaliakmanis will outduel Dante Moore and then it's just a date. The shirts get printed well afterwards. Yep. Oregon wins that game by 40. We've still just got a bunch of shirts we don't know what to do with.
A great business model.
Good business strategy.
If there's anything we're good at, it's being successful businessmen.
Yeah, of course. By the way, 82.1 passing grade under pressure as well. So like, the kid's good.
It's very for real.
The last quarterback that I want to talk about is LaNorris Sellers from South Carolina. And the reason why I wanted to talk about him is because we had a game from Fernando Mendoza against a stout, what we thought was stout competition that he made look not stout at all whatsoever, and sort of
fell apart quick.
Vaulted him into the top 10 quarterback conversation. And LaNorris Sellers, who has been some people's QB1 and potential number 1 overall pick in this upcoming class, he had a really strong game versus Missouri. Now, was it perfect? No, but I do think that it was a strong game. And if you were a LaNorris Sellers believer, you had to love what you saw against Missouri. 73.1 passing grade, 18 for 28, 302 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had 4 big-time throws in this game and 1 turnover-worthy play. Again, if you are a big LaNorris Sellers stockholder, believer, whatever you want to call yourself, you loved what you saw here, because I think the NFL is going to take a look at this guy and they're going to go, okay, this player is the Anthony Richardson mold, but he is further along than Anthony Richardson even is right now in his NFL career. He feels the pocket a little bit better, which, going to be honest, 26.3% pressure to sack ratio, still not good.
That's the one thing still for me.
He has got, because there are a couple of those plays where I'm watching him, and he's scrambling he's scrambling outside the pocket, and there's a defender that's pursuing towards the ball where he has it, and he just holds it. And I'm like, dude, just throw it at the wide receiver's feet. He's 5 yards in front of you. Don't take the sack. And instead, he kind of just takes the sack. And overall, pocket management is something that needs to get better from him. But there are also moments where you watch him slide in the pocket a little bit, find his footing, and be able to deliver a deep pass. There was one of his big time throws that did not get caught, was one where it was, I don't really know what to call this concept. It's essentially the way that he read it was a little bit like a Yankee concept, where you've got like the deep over going one way, and then you've got the deep post going over top of it, but you had some movement underneath that as well. Essentially, the whole flow of the play, everything is going to the left. And then there's a receiver who started on the left, and he's going deep on a post to the right side of things. LaNorris reads a couple of the first two progressions of guys who are flowing horizontally to the left, realizes they're all covered, and then flat-footed, sees that guy at the last second. His pressure is right in his face, deep down the field, wide open. He goes, whoop, just flicks the ball. It goes 40, 45 yards in the air. And to be honest, would it have been a tough catch? Yes. But it goes through the receiver's hands as he's diving for the ball. He got it close and where he needed to get it. And that's the stuff that you go, that is just the raw physical talent that you love about LaNorris Sellers. So is it all there for him yet? No. Is he consistent? I would not use that word to describe him. But if you are taking a home run chance on a quarterback in this class, and I think a lot of people that are in that camp are going to pick LaNorris Sellers as their guy that they want to champion. So I wanted to highlight his day against Missouri, because it was one of those games that the people who believe in him will go watch the Missouri game. Yeah. That's the potential that this guy has.
So I guess my question becomes, Trevor, say this is just exactly who he is this year, right? Because I feel like you and I have had this combo with Sellers now probably 3 times, where he could hit the big passing play like it's nothing. He's obviously a big-bodied, gifted runner. And almost every single week, he's going to take sacks that drive you completely insane.
I agree.
Say this is just exactly who he is. I wonder what the conversation is going to be with him as a prospect. He's probably talented enough that some coach would be like, I'll get that pressure to sack ratio lowered a little bit, and I have to have the special stuff. I don't think Anthony Richardson is going to just what happened to him is going to plummet LaNorris Sellers. I don't think that's fair, and I think you wisely opened up that way.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. If this is... Now, again, this is us talking as we are predicting what we think the NFL is going to do, as opposed to where he might be on our final big board in our quarterback rankings. Because I want to make sure that I'm not speaking for you, but also just clarifying that for me. Yep. But if this is who LaNorris Sellers is, he's still a top 10 lock, in my opinion. I think he goes top 10.
Yeah, quarterback fever, man.
That's ultimately why. I just think that I think that even in his current state, he could be a top 10 lock if this is just what he is. Now, if he gets worse, the problem with Sellers is there's not a lot of benefit of the doubt, right?
Yep.
Garrett Nussmeier, for example. Nussmeier has a lot of benefit of the doubt right now. He was a potential number 1 overall pick. He was the potential QB1 in this class. And to be honest, Nuss hasn't looked terrible, but he hasn't looked great.
No, he hasn't looked great. He's been okay.
But he has so much leeway into how people view him as a prospect that even for Nussmeier not playing great, I mean, I'd tell you right now, Nuss is going top 20. I could even say he's going top 10, even for the year that he had. Sellers, if he plays inconsistent, especially down the stretch, I think the last 4 games, whatever the last 4 games of their season are, whether it creeps into the bowl or college football playoff or whatever it is, whatever the last 4 games of his are, if he doesn't look good, I think he drops a lot heavier than other quarterback prospects, and he will be judged more harshly for it because of, like you said, examples of Anthony Richardson or whoever it is, where the consistency just was not there with those guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense to me. I would completely agree.
So it's kind of how I feel about LaNorris Sellers. There we go. Mendoza. Kaliakmanis, Sellers. That's the quarterback talk that we got this week. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. As always, let us know in the comment section what you think about this quarterback class and anybody else that we need to shout out from the quarterback position.
It's one of my favorite things we've done on the show is having these weekly quarterback talks. It's just totally changed my process. It's not that I wasn't watching quarterbacks, but I feel like I am I feel like I'm watching every quarterback in the class that matters right now at least once every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes, which I think is important.
It's very important this year because we talked about summer scouting, the volume of guys, but the pool being wide open.
Then there's so many quarterbacks that people are just trying to bring up, justifiably or not, just because his quarterback class kind of needs it. All right, we're going to get into our 3 guys that we're bringing to the table here. One of them genuinely might be my new favorite player in this entire class.
Okay.
So we'll get to him in a second. But this PFF betting segment is brought to you by our friends over at DraftKings. We got the NFL lines out right now. I was taking a look at the NFL lines earlier this week. Connor, Thursday Night Football, Seattle was getting 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Arizona Cardinals. Couldn't believe that was the case. Now it is flipped. Now Seattle is actually the team that is favored. So there's lines like that. There's the New Orleans Saints that are, I don't know if you saw this one, 15.5 point favorites. God damn, that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. The question is it enough?
That's what we're looking for. But I don't know, man. I think I actually might be taking the Saints getting 15.5.
I don't think it's ridiculous to take the Saints. It's so many points.
It's a ton of points.
Even if they backdoor it. Like, say the Bills are winning by 3 touchdowns, and everyone's like, okay, this game's over. And then the Saints get this cupcake drive at the end. And it's like, oh, they covered. Yeah. That's how easy it is.
That's how easy it is, folks. I think 15.5 is disrespectful. I know they're 0-3. I know we talk about it in the power ranking episode.
It's because of the last week effect of they just got the doors blown off.
Yeah.
And everyone now it has to swing that way. I don't typically bet games like that because there's just so it's just ridiculous when you're playing with that many points. This is why I don't love a lot of college games in terms of spreads. I like totals. Totals are a lot of fun. But, yeah, that's a really big number. I was totally with you on Thursday Night Football. When that line launched, I loved it. And it's amazing. In about 24 hours, it literally flipped.
My dad, I don't know if I've told this before on this podcast, but when my dad was starting to get into like sports betting outside of, just like him and his friends betting on games or whatever, he found this formula. I don't even know where he found it.
This is good.
He would be betting the most obscure college football games you've ever heard of. I would be upstairs watching the actual good college football games, and he'd be like, "Hey, Trev, what's the San Diego Tech and Virginia State game at right now?" I'm like, how do you even know what those are?
Right.
And he'd be like, "Nah, I got the over." I'm like, what are you betting the over for in this game? But to the old man's credit,
he was winning.
He was cooking.
He found the formula. Because you know what it is with those lines? We live in an era of technology and traders, like people that are setting the lines to the books, that this isn't as as normal as it used to be, but there is the least amount of bankroll dumped into those games. So when the line opens, the chances of it moving drastically is so slim.
Right.
Where you look at last week, right? This is how you knew it was dangerous business. And I didn't make a pick for this game because we had a weird weather delay. But Illinois, Indiana opens up, I believe, as a 4.5 point difference, Indiana being favored. The public heavily backs Illinois. I mean, heavily. And instead of Illinois getting less points, the book gave them more. They went up to 6. So I'm like, that's not a good sign. Like, Vegas is fully behind Indiana here, which seems like a total and the public wasn't. And my God, were they right about Indiana?
That's true. Well, hey, whether it's college
shout
football
out
or
to
the
your
NFL,
dad, man. That's a real OG move.
He is.
He has every streaming service if he's betting on those games.
He does.
He's got Big Ten Network 4. Like, you watch Big Ten Network and it's like, okay, Ohio State's playing whoever. Okay, Northwestern's playing Iowa. Okay, and then it's like,
yeah, he's got Peacock 17, like whatever it is, just the obscure of the obscure.
Oh, man.
Anyways, NFL season, it's rolling on,
Peacock
folks. We're
17.
talking about it here on this show.
That's where you find me.
Every touchdown can bring you closer to payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Every game is another chance to cash in. Don't just watch the action. You guys can win with the DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NFL right to your fingertips. First touchdown score, anytime props, and the thrill of live in-game betting. Every snap loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one's for you. You bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Season's heating up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code PFF. That's promo code PFF to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off an NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or just text HOPE-NY for 67369. In Connecticut, help is available for problems with gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer to new subscribers only and auto-renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. By the way, I got to say that, of course, the lines that we talked about, we're recording this on a Wednesday. They can change. Got to make sure that I say that so you guys know.
Yeah, Trevor's dad is moving all the lines.
Yeah, he is. No, he's a kingpin.
You want to bet Indiana State? Well, the number moved. Sorry.
I'm gonna go to Vegas one time, and I'm gonna walk up to the Palazzo and be like, "Hey, I'm checking in," and be like, "Oh, what room are you?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm this room," and they're like, "Oh, sorry, your last name. I thought you'd be in the Ron Sikkema suite." I'm like, "Excuse me, the what suite? The what?"
He's got.
They'd be like, "No, sorry, it must be somebody else." Yeah, it's somebody else. It's my father.
October is Sikkema penthouse month. He's literally keeping the lights on at the palace. Oh God, what a legend!
He's at the Sphere, but he's just it's like a
Big 10-4 is on.
It's like a forum, where he gets up and speaks to thousands in the Sphere about how he acquired this kind of wealth
strategy.
Yeah, and then of course after the forum, they're throwing up Peacock 17 because the whole place has San Jose Tech versus
Idaho Northeast.
Yeah, whatever. All right, who are you talking about first?
I don't even know anymore. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, Texas Tech.
Ooh, kid was on fire this past game.
It truly felt like he knew every play. And it was when that game started, I'm like, Utah, their offensive line, you naturally grow a bias of programs and teams. And I'm like, it's Texas Tech. Texas Tech was about that life on that day.
100%.
They were absolutely about that life. And yes. Jacob Rodriguez was a big reason why, man. He was just right in the middle of everything. This is a 6'1", 235-pound linebacker. He was just, and this is a 34-10 win for Tech over a top 20 Utah team with what we think are 2 first-round tackles.
Yeah.
And Tech hadn't really played anyone yet. So this was, they beat Oregon State the week before in a massive blowout. So I think everybody was kind of like, is Tech for real, blah, blah, blah. My goodness, this guy, just to talk about the game he had in the stat sheet, but the plays are worth going back and watching. He had a ton of tackles, I think 11, but he had 4 solo stops, which really, really matter. He had a forced fumble, and he had the interception towards the end of the game that was like almost a one-handed kind of grab where he cut off the throw to the sideline. It truly watching it felt like, so this season, he has a 96.0 run defense grade.
Yep.
He is reading the flow of the run as soon as the ball is snapped. Almost every single play you watch the guy. I don't think he's the fastest, the most explosive, the biggest, although he's not small. So many college linebackers are 220 pounds now. He's like a real 230 plus, 235.
At least he's 235, yeah.
Yeah, 235. Yeah. His instincts are as good as I've seen this year, Trevor, from anyone. It's phenomenal. His first step is always right. He rallies to the ball with his teammates. He's a really, really tough player. He's a veteran player as well. He was at Virginia, and then he transferred to Tech. I believe he made a transition he was an offensive player initially.
Was he a tight end?
That's what I was trying to figure out because he was playing a lot of special teams.
Here, I can tell you in a second. Let's see. Jacob Rodriguez.
Quarterback, because he played in high school, wide receiver, tight end, and running back.
What did he play? Okay, so he only played
all of those for Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he literally just did everything on offense.
What?
Yeah, this guy's story is fascinating, by the way. He was a 4-sport athlete in high school. He played basketball, baseball, track and field, and football. On his high school team, he played quarterback and safety, which, by the way, like, there's no more lethal combo of a human being than when you're a quarterback
and safety.
Like, oh, you're the leader of the offense and do everything for our offense, and then on defense, you're willing to knock someone's head off in the middle of the field. You're a certified lunatic. So he was a 4-star prospect.
Hold on, can I just say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
When he was at Virginia, I want to make sure I get this right, did not play a single defensive snap in 2021.
Right.
He played 50 snaps as a wide receiver. He played 50 as an out wide receiver, 83 as a slot receiver, 23 as an inline tight end, 26 as a backfield player, and then 5 at quarterback. He wore number 98.
That's ridiculous.
This man did not play defense or trenches at all. And he's wearing 90. They are handing the ball off to him in the backfield, and he is wearing number 98.
Position, football player.
Yeah.
I love him. I absolutely love him, dude. And I guess playing every position on offense, and once upon a time at a high level of high school football in Texas, playing safety has led to him having these ridiculous instincts. He's one of the smartest players I've watched throughout this entire year. By the way, like, cool little side note, while researching his background, his wife, he's a married man. He's married 2 years now. His wife is a helicopter pilot for the U.S. Army.
Oh, yeah, they showed that during the game.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's got like a half sleeve.
Dude, they're like the gnarliest family of all time.
Love it.
Yeah.
The stock is through the roof.
Yeah, besides our families, of course. Our families are a little cooler, but they're cool.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, of course. Oh, by the way, now that I mentioned that, remember last week when we talked about we need one of these prospects to be really good at the quarterback position that has a full tat sleeve? You remember?
Yes.
So we brought up Carson Beck because I think he does have a full
Yeah, he
sleeve.
does.
Athan Kaliakmanis does as well.
He does.
He also has a full sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys didn't, if you weren't sold enough from what we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, somebody besides Lamar Jackson needs to pull this off. We're waiting.
Right. And it's obviously going to be Athan.
I feel like this is the show that puts the Kaliakmanis hype into hyperdrive.
We are, yeah. I mean, we're already there.
I'm hoping. Yeah. But yeah, Jacob Rodriguez, not only an awesome week, he's had a great season, and one of my favorite linebackers in the country from what I've watched this year already.
Love it. I got to do his full tape breakdown, but Dalton Wasserman, who is one half of the PFF College Football Show with him and Max Chadwick, Dalton messaged me last Saturday. He was like, "Hey, I don't know if you've watched Rodriguez, but you need to." So I'm glad that you shouted him out.
Yeah,
here.
Ball player. I mean, literally just plays every position.
You want to talk about a ball player? This guy that I'm about to talk about might be my new favorite player in the class. Earl Little Jr., the safety from Florida State. This kid rules. So it's been a couple of weeks. I wanted to get to his film because I watched Florida State versus Alabama to open up the season. And he was all over the field.
He was.
He was making so many plays. I can't remember who was on the call for that game, but they were consistently talking about him. He was around the ball so much. He had an interception was it that game? Maybe it was the game after. I can't remember. But he's got one interception this season. He was just all over the field. Wearing number 0 as a defensive back, you love that. And so now I finally got around to his scouting report and got into his his whole scouting profile and how he got to where he is. So he is listed at 6 feet tall. Well, he's listed at 6'1", but I have on good authority that he's a little bit smaller than that, but he's right around 200 pounds. He actually started his career at Alabama. He was a cornerback. Well, he played corner, he played safety, he played wide receiver when he was in high school. He also ran track. He also grew up playing soccer, by the way, multi-sport athletes. We know we like to shout those out here on the show. But he played cornerback mainly in high school. And when he got to Alabama, which is where he was first, he also played cornerback. So he played in a handful of games in his redshirt freshman season. And then his sophomore, but he was dealing with a bunch of shoulder injuries his first year when he was at Alabama. And then he played, I think it was like 7 or 8 games at Alabama the second year. And then he tore his labrum. So we've got now back-to-back years, unfortunately, where he has had shoulder injuries, one of them a major shoulder injury, which we've talked about on the show. When it is your job to tackle, it is not ideal that you have shoulder injuries.
Right.
It's something that sucks. Now, it transferred the year after that. So 2024, he transfers to Florida State. And Clay Fink, I was talking with him. He does a great job covering Florida State. He's just got such great intel on all these guys, all the recruiting backgrounds, like when they've been at Florida State. He knows the team inside and out. I was talking to him a little bit about Earl Little Jr. And he was telling me, and the grades reflect this. I was like, where did this guy come from? And he's like, well, he played slot last year. And he was telling me, he's like, he struggled hard. Like, he was a step behind recognizing where routes were going to break. He was giving up so much separation. He sort of panicked with receivers having the two-way go. They thought he was going to transfer in and be their starting slot corner. And his grades are terrible from last year playing as a slot defender. Then this summer, they switch him to safety. He's got like some insane practice reps and practice highlights of him being just this major difference maker at the safety level. And then you turn on the Bama game, you turn on the rest of their opponents that they've played this season, and Connor, this dude rules. I mean, if he didn't play with any confidence in 2024, you sure as hell can't tell this year. His trigger downhill from a single high free safety spot is lightning quick. He has so much great recognition. And look, we've watched enough safety players, okay? When I say this to you, I know that you're going to know what I'm talking about. You sometimes get safeties where, especially the free safeties that are coming from depth, you know, they'll run, you know, close to where the tackle is being made, and, you know, maybe they'll get in on the scrum when a couple of other players are over there. But, you know, a lot of these safeties, especially free safeties, these guys that cover for a living, they don't want to hit. That's not what they're there to do.
They like catching the ball.
Let me tell you, brother, Earl Little Jr.'s there to hit. The first play that I watched of him, he's coming from depth as a single high free safety. Alabama hands the ball off. The running back is about to like hit the hole and get to the second level. And all of a sudden he comes in like a torpedo and just blasts the running back at full speed. And I go, hello. The play speed, the violence, the urgency, the desire to be physical and make every tackle possible. He is the kind of football player every single defensive coordinator is going to want. He is a tone setter through and through. You could tell that he is making calls and adjustments to the rest of his defense from that free safety spot. You know, he'll be waving his hands or giving the hand sides or yelling out to the linebackers or yelling out to his fellow safety if there's a too high safety or a buzz safety or whatever. Like, he is constantly communicating. He is relentlessly pursuing the ball through the whistle every single time. The only thing I wish that he had more of was a ball hawking mentality.
Right.
Because I think that the cornerback background allows him to flip his hips and run pretty well for some good range and coverage. But there are a couple of plays where he gets targeted deep. And I know he has the one interception, but that's the first interception in his career. And Connor, he has 0 forced incompletions in his career up to this point. There are times when the ball is arriving where the wide receiver is, where he could make a play on the ball if he looked up for it.
Right.
But he doesn't. He just goes to hit the receiver.
Yeah.
And so if he had a little bit more of a ball hockey mentality, oh boy, we're talking about a dude that is the tape is so much fun. You know who he reminds me of early comp is how Jordan Whitehead played. And I know Jordan Whitehead wasn't great with the Jets, but when
some moments though when things were going well.
When he was with the Buccaneers specifically in Bowles' defense, he's a bat out of hell.
Yep.
They put him on the edge. They put him at the linebacker level. They put him as a slot defender. He'd play as a strong safety, and he is hitting, baby. He is going towards the ball as fast as he possibly can to make as big of a hit as he possibly can. And I'm not just saying that like he's doing that recklessly. Like he's hitting dudes with his shoulder and wrapping up really well and making sure they feel it as well. So Earl Little Jr., it's early in the season. His career grades to this point haven't been great, so we'll see if he can make a full year out of it. But man, if he does, I think this could be a top 50 player for me. This is one of my favorite players that I have watched in this entire class.
I love the energy he plays with. I only watched that first game against Alabama that you brought up, but just hearing you talk about him and the fact that he's healthy and just how fearless of a brand of football he plays, it's pretty awesome, and it's why it feels like things turned around quickly for that Florida State defense.
Yep.
At the beginning of this year.
Who's next for you?
Kind of a revisit guy, but I want to talk about Jonah Coleman briefly.
Oh, he's been awesome.
Jonah Coleman's been awesome, and the reason I'm bringing him up is because I think the conversation has kind of shifted with Jonah Coleman, where you look at summer scouting where we were high on him. I had him RB3, but there's an argument that Jonah Coleman is the best running back prospect in this draft right now, or at least as a top, like a lock to be a top 75 pick. I mean, it's been a slow start for Jeremiah Love. That's why in that Notre Dame offense, but I think Love is going to be fine and will be the first running back taken.
Yeah, I would agree.
But you have then Nicholas Singleton, Darius Taylor. I'm going to bring up another running back in this class on today's show for the first time. But I'll tell you the difference right now, Trevor, with Coleman that is really, really helping him. I think he has legitimate receiving skills that, he has this dense build. He's like 5'9", but he's 230. And he is really built that way. He is 30 pounds of muscle in a 15-pound potato sack. Like, that's what he looks like. And you watch his ability on these dump-off passes or when the play breaks down to change up what he's doing in his route. And his ability to make people miss but also run really, really hard, that's the difference to me with him right now, where he was really good against Washington State, specifically as a receiving back. He had 2 explosive plays. He caught all 6 of his targets. He had a receiving touchdown. Coleman's he's the type of NFL back that I really, really like. I think he can churn through contact, but he's got natural soft hands. That his transition from pass catcher to open field runner is really, really dangerous. And I think the pass protection will grow and develop and get better. So Jonah Coleman, man, we liked him over summer, but this was a good time to check in. I think he's been even better than I expected.
Yeah, he could very well be that second running back drafted. He really could, especially because I don't know who else is really taking that mantle at this point. I think Jeremiah Love's easy, still RB1. I know it's been a slow start to the year, but when he has been given the opportunities, I think that he has still produced. So
they haven't blocked well for him.
It hasn't been as good as we thought it was going to be with that Notre Dame offensive line. Yeah. So Jonah Coleman absolutely could be that second running back off the board.
Who do you got next?
Okay, I got a former 5-star that I'm bringing to the table next. But before we do that, if anybody out there is hiring, we understand that it can be a difficult process, right? I mean, like you throw out a job posting and you just go, hey, here are the qualifications that we need. Maybe you're just waiting for a number of candidates. Maybe it's just the amount of candidates that you want to have. Maybe it's the right candidates. Maybe you just don't know how to contact them. Maybe you don't have the right information. Okay, this guy applied, but I'm not getting in touch with them quickly enough. Man, if you work with ZipRecruiter, you're not going to have those worries. Future of hiring looks so much brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help you speed up finding the right people for those roles. You can save valuable time while doing so, and now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. We've talked about this on this podcast before. It's not just about hiring somebody. It's about hiring somebody that is going to grow with your business. Not just for right now. It's about the future. It's about moves that can help set you up for great success. With ZipRecruiter's new advances, you can easily find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. See a ZipRecruiter candidate that you're super interested in? Boom, you can unlock all of their contact info right there instantly. Over 320,000 new resumes are added to ZipRecruiter monthly, which means that you could reach more potential hires and fill roles sooner. No wonder why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Use ZipRecruiter and save your time hiring. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Anthony Lucas, the edge rusher from USC, is the guy that I want to talk about. I saw some of the addicts shouting out Anthony Lucas when I was asking you guys about some stock-up players. He is definitely somebody, in my opinion, who is a stock-up guy. He's a former 5-star recruit, started his career at Texas A&M, then he moved over to USC. It was really coming along last year before he had a season-ending lower body injury. They weren't specific with it, but we do know that it needed surgery. So, I don't know, an ACL tear, an Achilles tear, something like that. I couldn't find any other details on it. But he's really been able to hit the ground running this season, I should say, with how he has been able to play. And it really just felt like he didn't really miss any time since being injured. So, he is somebody who looks the part of an NFL defensive lineman. He's listed at 6'5", 285 pounds. But just like Gabe Akis from Illinois, he is a 2-point stand-up outside linebacker rusher at 6'5", 285.
It's ridiculous.
How many of these guys are we going to have?
It's taking over the sport.
And I'm great with it, right? I mean, like, that freak show dudes who at 6'5", 285, I'm watching him, and I don't know if he's 285. I mean, he might be like 270, to be honest with you.
There's still a lot of humans standing up and running around.
That's still great. Like, I'm still great with that. So, obviously, he's got massive size to him, especially if he's 285. That's huge. But even if he's 270, I think that's great. You would think that he'd rush with his hand to the dirt, but he doesn't. He's much more of a 2-point stance outside linebacker type of a player. Really long arms, so the long arms match the 6'5" frame, so I don't really have any sort of reservations about that. This year, really well-rounded profile. 74.9 overall defensive grade, 82.4 run defense grade, 77.2 pass rush grade, 17.6 pass rush win percentage, which previously the last 2 years it was right around like 13.5%. So he's getting better at that. I think that so here's sort of my overall thoughts on him. I think that he's consistently in control when he's matched up against offensive linemen. It just takes him a little bit of time to shed the block if he doesn't like hit a pass rush move immediately. So you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll engage with somebody, he'll get the arms, he's got a strong upper body, so like he'll get the arms fully extended, and he's got the leg drive to where like he can keep moving a little bit, he can keep his feet moving, he can keep making progress towards the quarterback, but it just takes him a little bit of time to like stack and shed or execute that like a push-pull move or something like that. But I will say that he is an ascending pass rusher. The more that I watched of him, the more pass rush moves I saw. He wasn't just a bull rush type of a guy like I think I remember him being this past season. He's got a nice little inside counter to him. I saw, the chop rip against the outside shoulder, the club, arm over swim move that he was able to do to get inside. Like, I think that he is expanding his pass rush back. So he's getting better and better, which is good to see. On the negative side, like I said, he consistently wins with strength, just not super quickly, which I think will go into how much the NFL is going to prioritize a player like this because he's not super twitchy in that regard. And he's a little bit of a tweener, right? I mean, like, he's not as quick as your typical outside linebacker. So if you like for your outside linebackers to drop in coverage or spot pick up tight ends or things like that, he might not be the kind for you. He could be a defensive end, but he doesn't have a ton of experience with his hand in the dirt and like a 5 technique alignment. And although he is big for a edge rusher, I don't think he's big for an interior player, so maybe you could get some 4-eye work out of him as a 3-4 defensive end if you make sure that you put on an adequate amount of weight and strength on him. But I don't think he's kicking inside at like 3-tech, and he's going to be sort of this like moonlighting 3 technique for you. So he's a little bit of a tweener in that regard. I think it'll take the right defensive coordinator to get the most out of him, but he is uniquely gifted. He does have good strength. His pass rush is getting better. He's obviously built like somebody who is for the NFL. It just might take a little bit of creativity. He's not going to be for every offense. I think you got to have a multiple odd front defense to be really happy with the return you're going to get for him. But Anthony Lucas from USC, somebody who definitely caught my eye, and he's playing really well this season.
It's a good shout, man. These types of players are just so fun to watch because the movement skills you have to even play that kind of role while carrying that kind of mass is just, it's ridiculous, honestly.
Yep.
My last one here before we do new name, and I know you got another player as well that I'm really excited for your next player because I think he's jumped out on tape. How about the name Hollywood Smothers?
Yeah, man. Every single time I watch NC State, he's the dude.
He's the guy. Running back on NC State. Hollywood Smothers has...
What a name. What a name.
The young fella has had himself a year. He's 6th in FBS in rushing. He's already over 500 yards. A metric that Trevor and I really like when we reference on this show is missed tackles forced per attempt. He is at 0.32, which is a really good rate.
Really good.
Essentially kind of correlates how you create for yourself compared to what the blocking is in front of you. But here's the thing, Trevor. This guy's vision is so good. He's a smaller back. He's 5'11", 195. His short area quickness combined with what he's seeing and to cut runs back or kind of slither through a gap, there's not a lot of hesitation in his game. It's just, and this is somebody who started his career out at Oklahoma but transferred to NC State after 1 year, so he's only a redshirt sophomore. But at the rate of production he's putting up right now, he could really be like a one big year and done kind of guy with the running talent that he has. If you're a zone blocking team, this guy is so good at just finding lanes. Once again, finding those cutbacks. He's got really good short area burst. He's very consistent in how much he's creating for himself each game. Like week 1, East Carolina, 8 missed tackles forced. Week 2, Virginia, 5 missed tackles forced. Week 3 against Wake Forest, 7 missed tackles forced. Week 4 against Duke, where he's still at 123 rushing yards, 4 missed tackles forced. So every single game, he's making people miss. I think his balance is great at that size. There's plenty of times where the first guy feels like he has him, and he kind of finds a way to recollect himself. And once again, when you're a smaller back, but you have that pound-for-pound leverage strength, this is something we talked about a lot with Ashton Genty, and he's obviously not Ashton Genty, but when you're that more compact back, but you have a lot of muscle and you have a lot of balance, you can kind of collect yourself a little easier. I'd say the only thing I'm nitpicking right now, because they just don't trust him in the receiving game because his pass protecting needs work, and he's smaller. Like there's a couple of times where he was late to the blitzer. He's not always big enough to pick up the blitzer, but for somebody that I really wasn't privy to, like I wasn't really watching him over the summer, there's just no way you could miss him for what he's done so far.
Yeah, the production is there for him. I mean, he's got 503 total rushing yards. That's 6th most in the FBS this season. So I think it's worth continuing to monitor how he plays. You know, I think that there is always a distinction to make. Is this a college back or is this an NFL back? And there's a lot of productive college backs that don't end up being NFL backs. And for Smothers, I think the lack of pass protection ability and then therefore the lack of receiving ability is tougher on his scouting report just as a smaller running back. But he's certainly given you a lot to think about with how quick his game is and how many missed tackles forced that he's given us this year.
Right.
Ohio State defensive tackle Kayden McDonald. He's the last guy that I wanted to bring to the table here. The reason why is because he's standing out as a run defender. So he's 6'3", 325 pounds. Now he is a true junior this season, so he's got plenty of eligibility left, and he may not be in this class overall. We'll see, but 92.0 run defense grade this season. 68.6 pass rush grade, 11.4% pass rush win percentage. Honestly, not much of a pass rusher right now, but I think that there's reason to believe that he could be more. So I have him categorized. I've mentioned this before. I have defensive tackle split into 2 categories now in sort of my scouting sheet. I have nose tackles and I have 3 technique defensive tackles. For him, I have him as a nose tackle because right now I think that is just what he is. He aligns the nose tackle whether Ohio State is in an even or an odd front. So he could be anything from like a 1 technique all the way to a 0 right above the center's helmet. He's actually got a pretty athletic build for a guy who is 325. Like, he carries some good weight, and you can tell he's got some good muscle in his lower half. Yeah, he's got a belly to him, but of course, he's 325 pounds. Of course he does. But he doesn't look like much of that weight is sloppy. It really does not look like that. I think he's got pretty good pursuit speed, even though the stride length is short. He's kind of like those small running backs who it's like piston engines that are firing, with smaller strides. But I think he can really move and he can really pursue for ball carriers. If they're in front of him and he's got to chase them from behind, I think he has the ability to do it. He is very flexible, which I always love, especially with nose tackle types, where you can get low and loaded in a 3 and 4 point stance where you could fire off the ball and have some really good leverage. Now, he's got some plays where he does execute that very well, and you can tell that his strength is very imposing when he does, but he also has some reps that I watch, too many, in my opinion, where he's just popping out of his leverage and he's just trying to like hand fight while he's, fully standing up, and he sort of like gets rid of an advantage that he has there. He has some plays specifically on the goal line this year and last year. I went back and I watched the Michigan game from last year as well, where they are on the goal line and he's like Vita Vea at times, where it's just like, nope, you want to go through the A and B gap, not happening. Like, he has the center in absolute hell. The center is hanging on for dear life. He just has his eyes in the backfield, and it's just a matter of wherever the running back goes, he is throwing the center one way or the other to make the tackle or at least get in on it and disrupt it at the line of scrimmage. So there are times when he is an imposing single blocker. He can take double teams well, but again, he's got to maintain his leverage in order to do so, and I saw a handful of reps where he didn't, and that's where he really got exposed against double teams. I think he gives up his leverage a little too easily. I think he gives up his chest a little too easily as well. He's got to keep those hands working to get offensive linemen's hands away from his chest. I think right now, when he's pass rushing, he kind of pops up and he's got fast hands and he'll look to, hit you with a nice little club or a rip or something like that. But before he does, he's chopping his hands and he's leaving his chest exposed. And so the offensive linemen are just able to get their hands inside and underneath his pads pretty quickly, and sometimes they can get control when in reality he's a lot stronger and quicker than them, and they shouldn't be able to do that. I think he's got a lack of length in his arm length. That's why I don't think he's going to be a 3 technique guy. I think he's just going to be a nose tackle guy.
Okay.
I think he's a good player. Like I put him in my big board and the MDS big board, which is updating. Maybe it pushed through already, but I think he's in like the 60s or 70s. I think he's that sort of fringe, sort of second, third round pick type of a player. And I know he's got a great run defense grade right now, but being more consistent as a run defender, being that true like boulder in the middle, that'll get him up into that second round range, in my opinion. And then whatever he can give you as a pass rusher, that always goes above and beyond in that category. So really good run defender. Just looking for a little bit more in the pass rush game and to be a little bit more consistent, but that's all to be expected as a true junior.
Dude, he's popped for me. When you put him in our rundown today, I was excited because he's just one of those guys where this is a team that, especially on the defensive line, it feels like they always graduate a few guys out and it seamlessly transition somebody in and don't skip a beat. And
some other 4-star or 5-star.
Right, always. So his sheer size is one of those situations where you're like, oh, like this guy, I notice him on the broadcast, not even the all-22.
Yep.
So, new name time?
Yep, let's do it. New name. Who we got?
My new name, going back to the University of Washington program, is safety Alex McLaughlin, who was a transfer, I believe from Northern Arizona this year. And the reason he popped off, he was from Northern Arizona, popped off for me this week is he had 2 interceptions against Washington State. Now, One of them was off a tipped pass where he still made the play. But this guy has ball skills and really puts himself in a position to make plays in coverage. He already has 3 forced incompletions. He had the 2 picks. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Very physical player in coverage. It constantly got trying to bump guys through their routes, bump guys for the ball at the catch point. He's somebody that has stepped in as a starter for this team pretty seamlessly as a transfer. This is he played the last 2 seasons at Northern Arizona. He was all Big Sky first team for them, so he was playing at a high level, and that was the ball skills popped there as well. He had 2 picks, 6 pass breakups, but you look at the level of competition stepping up and having to kind of earn that starting spot. He doesn't look out of place for a defense that has a lot of talent on the back end, but he was somebody, because of the program he came from, I didn't know a lot about, and you can't miss him on tape. Once again, going back to, I've just been so impressed with the coverage ability. He does have 2 tackles for a loss, and he will play up at the line of scrimmage, but to me, this is somebody that's a true free safety on the back end.
Hell yeah. Love it. I love it. I do not know anything about him, so cannot contribute to this.
Neither did I,
conversation
honestly.
At all. But
yeah. I guess that's the point of new name, though, because
it is.
Because I know both edge players on the program you're going to talk about. I don't know anything about their interior defensive line.
Dude, Texas Tech, their defensive line's fantastic.
Have things changed? Like Texas Tech, we are now talking about 2 defenders from Texas Tech on this show, and neither of them are their star edge rushers.
No. So we have yet to even get to Romello Height, who I have him on my short list of guys to watch. I just have not watched him yet. David Bailey obviously is phenomenal from his days when he was at Stanford, and he's still rushing the passer at a very high level now. But when I was watching that Utah-Texas Tech game, there was a player who continued to pop for me more than anybody else, and that is their defensive tackle, Skyler Gill-Howard. And I was like, okay, I got to write him down. I got to watch him immediately because I enjoyed so much of watching him play in that Utah game, specifically against some really good Utah offensive linemen. So I throw on his tape, Connor, and one of the first couple of plays that I see is it's either 3rd or 4th down and 1. He is lined up right in front of Spencer Fano, who is one of the best run blockers in the country. He stands him up straight at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he does not yield a step to one of the best run blockers in the country. And I'm pretty sure the running back just runs straight into Fano's back because he's like, this has never happened before. And I think that they were able to get the stop there. So Gill-Howard is a redshirt senior. Let me make sure. Actually, hold on. Let me pull all this up because I want to make sure that I get all this stuff right. He is a redshirt senior. He is listed at 6'1", 290 pounds. So even as a 3-technique defensive tackle, which is the category that I have him in, that is 9th percentile and 13th percentile.
He's a tree stump.
He is a smaller dude. When I watched his film, I liked him. When I looked at his background, liked him even more. 0-star linebacker, okay, in the 2021 recruiting class from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was a 2-sport athlete, also competing for wrestling, was a 2-time runner-up in the state wrestling tournament. So this dude was very close to winning a state championship as a wrestler twice. He was a 3-time captain when he was in high school. So his sophomore year of high school.
Very hard to do.
He is a team captain, which I will get back to in a second. So he commits to Upper Iowa, which is a D2 school. When I say commit, I mean he walked on. So he played there.
Iowa?
Upper Iowa.
Who names a college like a very vague part of a state? I believe it. I have it. Upper Iowa University, Fayette. Oh, private university and enrolls 3,000 students. Upper New York.
One of them was Skyler Gill-Howard.
This is unreal. You really do learn a new school every week.
So he walks on there, plays in 4 games in 2021. He then leaves, walks on at Northern Iowa. Or no, not Northern Iowa, Northern Illinois, excuse me. And he transitions from linebacker to defensive line, defensive tackle. So he throws on a ton of weight. He redshirts that first year that he's at Northern Illinois, and he throws on a ton of weight. In 2023, he was a backup, but he played in 12 games. In 2024, he's not even a full-time starter. He's a rotational player. Guess what? Team captain. He transfers to Texas Tech in 2025. Guess what? Team captain.
That's insane to be a transfer and a team captain right away.
They chose him, I read this, to stand in front of the team and give the final, training camp's over, pump up speech. Let's go take care of business this season. He's a transfer. He has been a captain in high school, at Northern Illinois, and now at Texas Tech. This dude is made up of the stuff that you would want every football player to be made up of. For as much as I can tell. Never met him before, obviously. But he, let me tell you, Connor, he plays like it. For as much as obviously he's good at getting the dudes fired up and probably giving speeches and all that kinds of stuff, he also leads by example. He has a junkyard dog mentality. He will fight and pursue the ball through the whistle every single play that he is out there. He can play anything from a 5-technique defensive end all the way to a nose tackle. He's got super fast and violent hands. When he gets the green light to pass rush, he has some really impressive reps where he wins with some devastating quickness. He is consistently stout against the run. He has a 81.4 run defense grade, 79.1 passers grade, 13.4% passers win percentage, and an 88.7 overall defensive grade this season. Now, weaknesses, measurables, he's not really built like an NFL defensive lineman normally is. His arms appear to be quite short, which sort of matches the heights listed. Sometimes he spends a little bit too much time just being blocked up. He's not able to shed blocks as on demand as he would like. I think that the lack of length definitely goes into that, and he just needs to maintain his pad level to consistently win with power, since he is a smaller defensive tackle. Is this guy going to be somebody who's going to get drafted in the first round? No, probably not. But is this the kind of guy that in the mid rounds, third, fourth round, you go, I want that dude on my football team 100%? Yes. He reminds me of a CJ West type of a player, where he's sort of built not really the way that a traditional defensive tackle is, but you just love him every time that you throw the tape on. That to me is the way that I'm viewing Skyler Gill-Howard right now, as sort of a mid-round defensive tackle, and somebody who I really learned to love the more I looked up about his background and everything.
What a story, man.
It's cool.
Change not only the position you play and change your body, but to go from Upper Iowa, where he said he played 4 games, be a total reserve at Northern Illinois, and now you're the leader of a Texas Tech team that's undefeated and looks very for real right now. And let's not forget, he was in that game where Northern Illinois upset Notre Dame.
Yes,
he had 4 tackles that game.
Yes, he was.
So this is somebody that's seen a lot, had to earn it everywhere he goes, clearly, and I'm rooting for him now. I'm very excited for this player.
All right, we're going to get to some shout-outs from the Addicts.
Yep.
Before we do that, talking to all the parents out there, parenting. High-pressure decisions all over the place, right? Sometimes you're second-guessing, hey, are you making the right choices for your kid's future? Well, here's a simple decision that you can make today to have a meaningful impact on your kid's future. And that's opening up a UGMA Kids Investment Account with Fabric. Starting their investment journey early and gives them a financial head start in life. Fabric by Gerber Life was designed by parents for parents to make it easy to plan for and manage your family's financial path. With the Kids Investment Account from Fabric, you guys can start investing in your child's future today. Kids can't invest while they are minors, but this UGMA Kids Investment Account allows you to invest on their behalf, gives them their investments so much more time to grow. No contribution limits on it. It's got multiple tax advantages. Funds are SIPC insured up to $500,000. Plus, there's no commission fees to it, just a low flat monthly maintenance fee. You can use it for anything, really. When they're younger, it's summer camps, after-school activities, books, sports, tuition, whatever that looks like. And then when they're older, maybe you're helping them buy that first car, buy that first house, start a business, whatever that looks like. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Start investing in your child's future today at meetfabric.com/stock exchange. That's meetfabric.com/stock exchange. MEET fabric.com/stock exchange. Portfolios are managed by Fort Washington Investment Advisors Incorporated. Additional services provided by Apex Coin Corporation. All investing is subject to risk. Learn more at meetfabric.com. Hey, before we get into this, if you guys don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you want to see all of the numbers, everything that we talk about here on the show, you can do that for yourself by getting one, and you can save 25% off with the promo code NFLSE25. Subscribe.pff.com, that's how you get it. You can see all of these numbers for yourself. You can follow along in every single show that we do, and you can get 25% off a subscription if you use the show's promo code NFLSE25. That obviously helps us out as well when you use our promo code. So if you are getting a subscription, which we would love for you too, it really helps you guys get more into the show, get more involved into the show. We love connecting with you guys more. NFLSE25. That's the promo code that you guys can use. All right. Alex Caston, shout out. Big friend of the show. He's saying, stock up. Edge rusher from Arkansas, Quincy Rhodes Jr. Have you watched him?
So this was...
He's a manimal.
Give me a second. This was the player that our friend of the show, James Foster, DM'd me about. Yeah, so the buzz is picking up for this guy, and I was like, oh, yes, I do have to watch him. I have seen a little bit. I haven't watched all of the games yet, but when he DM'd me that, I got eyes on a little bit. He's been a game wrecker up front.
Yeah, he is.
He's kind of a tweener, right? He's not really a true edge.
He's 6'6", 275.
Right, I thought he was kind of like a kick in and out kind of guy, if you need him to.
He's a little Deo Odiingbo,
yeah.
I think, is in like how I'm watching him. But dude, he's huge. I watched him, and I didn't pick him as one of the three that we talked about today, but like I watched him, and he is strong as hell, man. I think that he is, through a couple of games, he's kind of like, if you can't get Keldrick Falk in the first round, you're probably taking a good hard look at Quincy Rhodes Jr. in round 2 and round 3. That's kind of the way that I would describe him. So, I like him. He's got a nasty inside spin, too. He's mostly a power guy, but he's got a nasty inside spin.
If the draft was today, is Ruben Bain the number 1 pick out of, like, non-quarterbacks?
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
Yeah, probably. Alex went on to say, San Diego State cornerback Chris Johnson.
I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him either, but there's a couple of people who are in the comments shouting him out.
He has a hive?
I guess he does. Yeah.
Good for you. When you have a group of the addicts that have turned into a hive for you, it's a good place to be.
Let's check really quick. San Diego State. Let's just check the grades. Just checking the grades. Checking the grades. See what we got here. Oh! 90.5 season grade. 80.9 run defense grade. 76.1 pass rush grade. 89.9 coverage grade. Who is this guy? He wears number 1? I'm in. I don't need to watch any film.
It says everything you need to know.
Film's overrated. I've often told people.
Player number 31 on the big board.
Don't watch film. Damn. He has had a coverage grade above 70 in all 4 years that he has played. This guy might be legit. Oh, which, by the way, Colton Hood. I watched Colton Hood from Tennessee. Have you watched him yet?
No.
The corner? Brother, it makes me mad that
because the duo they could be.
Holy smoke. Genuinely, Colton Hood could be a first rounder.
I got to watch him.
I think he's a top 50 caliber player the way that he's playing this year. He was at Colorado last year. He was behind their 2 starters, and now he's starting this year. And if it was him and McCoy, like genuinely, that could be 2 top 50 corners. So, bummer. It is a big bummer.
Tennessee has a lot of talent popping off this year.
Alex also shouting out Romello Height, the other edge rusher from Texas.
I've watched him.
Tech.
Yeah,
he said stop.
That duo's nuts.
He said stock down offensive tackle Xavier Chaplin. I have, even going back to summer scouting, I always felt like he's a guard. Like
the penalties.
Yeah, I just think he is in too tough of a spot when he is put at tackle. I think he's a guard at the NFL level. I do. So, a little bit of stock down. Slen saying DJ Campbell out of Texas, saying he's been turning in some solid performances, and his 81.3 true grade against true pass blocking sets is slowly starting to stick out. Slen, that's a PFF Plus subscription right there.
Nicely done.
We love that. Pass blocking grade against true pass sets. Let's go, baby. Love to hear it. Andrew shouting out John Henry Daly, the Utah edge rusher. I gotta watch him.
I do too.
He's on my short list. I feel like he popped in the Texas Tech game, though.
Big matchup for Isaiah World this week if he sees denied Dennis Sutton.
Yeah. Because World really hasn't been tested at all.
Like Oregon has gotten to just sleepwalk this year.
It's true. Jack shouting out Michael Trigg, the tight end at Baylor. Trevor shouting out Athan.
Nice.
I love
there
that.
It is.
Love that. Love that. Look at that. Look
at a plan coming together.
Look at what Trevor's out here. Rutgers quarterback went for 330, 82.4 passing grade, 5 big time throws, 0 turnover worthy plays. Even though there were 17 pressures against him, folks, that is a PFF Plus subscriber.
You are living in the database.
We love that. We really do.
One of us.
Alex, who consistently gives me a top 5 up and down every single week. Shout out, Alex. Big fan of the draft, big fan of the show. Seeing Eric McAllister, number 1, the wide receiver from TCU. Justice Hayes, the running back from Michigan. Jacob Rodriguez, your boy.
I mean, that game was just insane.
It's pretty bonkers. R. Mason Thomas.
Oh, dude. Man. Okay. I think I was a little wrong. I'm not going to say he's my favorite edge rusher in the class because the Bane train's probably going number 1.
Yeah.
But he definitely is not the 14th edge in the class. Oops.
You know what? This just reminded me of this. When I was watching NFL games with Max and Dalton last week, Max, you know how we say the phrase "never wrong, just early"?
Yep.
Max it was some bad take that he had, and he was just like, "Never right, just early." And I died laughing.
Just wrong very early. Oh, that's amazing.
Bo Stevens, also the shout out there, also says Josh Hoover, Hollywood Smothers, your boy.
There we go.
And then, stock down. I got to shout this one out because a couple of people have been talking about this. The Clemson defensive line duo. I'm not going to lie, guys. I watched the Clemson defensive line duo because I thought that to myself. I was like, damn, Clemson's not playing really well. Peter Woods and TJ Parker's grades are fine, but I was like, are they good? I haven't done the full rewatch of these guys yet, but I watched 5 plays of Peter Woods, and I went, nope, we're still good.
Yeah.
We're good here. I mean, he's still just a crazy athlete, crazy power. All the potential is there. Yeah.
It's a really bad environment. I think that it's a shame that they're not going to be playing in big games, but
yeah,
Woods is a freak show, man.
Yeah. What's another one here? Brady Small, the center from Army, guy is a rock in the middle of that line and led them to a Joe Moore Award last year.
Okay.
All right. Trevor's also shouting out Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss, which quietly the best name in the class.
Yes.
Trinidad Chambliss?
It's been a good name day. Trinidad Chambliss, Hollywood Smothers.
Yeah. It's true.
Even Kaliakmanis is like, that's a crazy quarterback name.
Athan Kaliakmanis is a great quarterback name.
Would you try to call him or totally break my brain? Athan?
Yeah.
Like Athens, Georgia?
Yeah. Is it the long A? Is it the soft A? You never know.
Oh, man.
All these kids' names, they follow no phonetic rules, all right?
No.
I'm just a podcaster.
That's a good excuse whenever you make a mistake in life. You get pulled over for speeding. I'm just a podcaster, sir. I have no other skills. Please let me go.
The cop's going to be like, yeah, I'm an addict. Get in the back of the car. Like,
you're going downtown, partner.
License and registration. He's going to be driving me to the jail. And before he locks me up, he's going to be like, I told you DJ Lagway was a tight end.
slams the door. Leaves you in the slammer overnight. Doesn't even give you a call. You disgust me.
All right, a couple more rapid fire. Noah said you absolutely must talk about Cam Edwards, the running back from UConn. He's thunder and lightning all at once in a big play machine. Wow.
That's how you sell a player.
That is how you sell a player. Jelani McDonald from Texas, turnover machine on the back end of that defense. All right. Somebody's giving out a shout out to Zion Young from Missouri. If people who listen to Summer Scouting, I wasn't a big fan of Zion Young. I got to rewatch him because a lot of you guys are shouting him out. A lot of people have been shouting him out. I'll rewatch him a couple games in, make sure I get to him before we get to the big board update. He wasn't anywhere close to my top 50, and I don't think he is going to be, but I do need to rewatch him because a lot of you guys are shouting him out there. Julia said Alfred Collins from Texas. Can't believe he's still on board. That's it's a great call. Also, Trevor
good scouting.
Trevor Goolsby. A lot of people are shouting him out from Texas. The offensive tackle. Got to do his recheck as well. All right, there we go. Appreciate it. I mean, we love when you guys get in on the show. We really appreciate all the responses, even if it's just little shout outs like this. I want you guys to realize, it's a cool way that we like to get you involved in the show. But we also go back through these comments and I build my watch list on a lot of the guys that you guys are shouting out as well. So even if we don't get to them in the episodes, just know we're reading a lot of these. I'm getting a lot of these guys on the short list for players to watch to get on the mock draft simulator. So fear not. If you didn't get a shout out in the show, it does not go unnoticed. We would love to hear from you guys from anything that happened here on the show. Best way to do that, youtube.com/@NFL Stock Exchange. You can follow the show as well on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, @NFLSC Show. You can follow us as well, @Tampa Bay Trey, @Connor J. Rogers. Shout out to everybody who watched the first Power Ranking episode last Monday. We had a lot of fun going through that format and covering the NFL in that format. Seemed like you guys really enjoyed it as well. We will be back next week with that same format because our schedule is we're going to do one more Power Ranking episode. We're going to do a big board update episode next Wednesday and then give you that mock draft for the first Monday of the month of October. Connor, anything else before we get out of here?
No, big week ahead. Really big week ahead. A lot of at the big board. We'll see all the movement. We'll bring up some guys that have fallen out as well, and then it's time to pay the bills. We're gonna get the mock draft simulator fired up again here, so I'm excited, dude.
How high can we draft Ruben Bain?
Is there a pick better than number 1? I'm taking him no matter what.
Yeah, he's gonna forfeit the draft and only go in the supplemental draft just so he can see only his name. That's how good this prospect is. He
deserves that kind of honor.
Appreciate it, everybody watching and listening to the show. For Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you once again, and we'll see you guys on Monday.